Good morning and welcome to Fat Cow Farm. Now, this morning I thought I'd quickly jump into the high tunnel hoop house here because it is freezing cold outside and I needed to stay warm. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd take this opportunity just to get some propagation done. Now, what I've decided to do is propagate some elderberries. Now, I've already got some elderberry cuttings here and I've already got my pots already set up. But I just wanted to sort of touch base to say about how easy elderberries are to propagate. And really, if you start one, over the years you can just keep on producing and producing and producing. And now we use elderberries really for all our. We break it down into a juice format and boil it up. And then, typically what we've been doing is just having that sort of just like a tablespoon every morning and then charging out to work and doing all the things that we need to do around the farm. But also for the bees, and because these guys, once established, they have the best big plume of flowers that come out and then go from there. So really what I wanted to do was just sort of touch base to say, this is how we're going to do it here. And what I've done is I'm just quickly just going to smash out 20 new cuttings and get them all set up for the spring, and hopefully by early summer, something like that, that we've got a good root ball and we can plant these out. And we're planning to plant these out along the swales where we've already had our pioneer trees come in. So we're starting to establishing that food forest and go from there. So what I'll do is I'm going to give you some a close-up about what's going on, because now that the elderberries are dormant, what I was waiting for was the buds, and with those buds it's just going to aid in seeing what's going on and how things are sort of traveling with them, and especially getting them propagated here in the hoop house. All right, so I'll bring you a bit closer, so I'll see you soon. All right then, so what I thought I'd do is just show you one of the cuttings of the elderberry, just so before we start getting too excited about planting everything out. Now, as you can see, the elderberry, it's got little nodes running up the little stalk there, or the little cutting. So what we like to do is, well, what I like to do is sort of cut just below those nodes, and then these ones here are going to be my root contact, or where the roots establish. And then what I typically do is come up, 1, 2 sets of nodes, 1, 2. Yeah, I think what I might do is actually take this one to 3, and then we'll just cut off like so. All right, so then basically what we're looking at is then I just remove the outside bark with the secateurs, just scrape it off. And what I typically do with the elderberries is then just keep one node exposed and the other one I just chamfer off. All right, so that's one there. This one's, I can just see the buds coming through, so I'll put that one aside. And then this one here, this is going to be a little one. Again, we cut on the angle, and we all know that we cut on the angle just to increase that surface area for the hormone growth. And we'll scrape that one back also on one side. That's cool. And then as you can see here, we've got little buds already starting to form up. And then that'll all be ready to rock and roll. Now, typically, what I like to do is pencil size. I haven't tried anything thicker than pencil, only because the hormone growth bottle that I've got has got a small opening. But it tends to work quite well. So I will get that ready to rock and roll. I'll get that into the hormone growth, and then we'll get that one planted out. All right, so I'll see you on the workbench. I'll see you soon. All right, so here we go. Oh, look at that. Murphy's Law tells me that the sprinklers are turning on. All right, I better get that turned off And because as you will have, while we're looking at it, as you can see, I've still got some leftovers here, but mainly all my potatoes running through the side there. So they'll be ready in about early spring, and going from there. All right, let me get this sprinkler turned off, and I'll catch ya. All right, so as you can see there, I've scraped back just the bark, so it's exposing that green sort of internal surface of the little cutting itself. And then what I do is I just basically put that into the hormone growth. And that also covers that extra node that I've kept in place. And then it's just straight into the hole, a fairly deep push, and then compact. Now what you want to do is obviously make sure that you've got good soil contact around that stem or that little cutting and around the nodes, and you're good to go. So we should see, I'm hoping in around about a month. I'll do a bit of a look in one of the pots and make sure that we've got some root establishment. But we'll know pretty shortly as a part of how we're traveling with these buds sort of coming out. You can see I've got some buds there, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so what I'll do is I'll get these ones finished, and super easy to make your propagations with the elderberries. And the only thing really you need to make sure is that if you're familiar with them, they're a very lightweight sort of cutting, and you can feel straight away if you don't have a good solid bound, even when you cut them. So you really want to be looking at seeing that you've got green, and because they do tend to die off. So you just need to get I suppose we could call it last year's shoots, and go from there. All right, so what I'll do is I'll get these all finished up. I'll come and find you, and I'll see you soon. All the propagation, all the elderberries are in. Now in my hot little hand here, I've got my comfrey tea, and that's just a 10% mix. I think this is a 10 litre watering can. So just put 100 ml of comfrey tea concentrate in, and then just the rest with water. And what I normally do there is just, with all our cuttings and all that sort of stuff, I just bang all this in, I let it drain out, and so they're well watered now, and then they'll go up onto the propagation platforms, and the sprinklers and everything else will take care of it. So too easy. Now what I'll do is I'll keep you updated about the rooting, and I'll see how all that sits, and if we're starting to get some leaves and all that sort of jazz. But like I said, it should be about a month or so, 6 weeks maybe. And what I found is it's very similar to that of grapes when you're propagating your grapes. Always looking at those 2 to 3 nodes on top, depending on size that you're chasing, obviously. And then you're scraping back or putting the hormone on the bottom node, and then straight into your mix. Now, this particular soil that we're using is something that we've just been working on in the chicken coop. And what I have found, or what I have been doing, is that this is my tub that I have here that I use for potting and all that sort of stuff. So I just fill that up. But knowing that when I'm going to be doing some propagation, I'll then get the comfrey tea, and I just give that a good hit a couple of days before, and then that way that just soaks into that soil, keeps it nice and moist, and all that sort of stuff. And then what we're finding is that we've got a lot of organic matter still in here, straws and everything else. So as we're constantly mixing it up, and then what I'll do is that then just goes into the chickens re-spread it, I rake it back up, and then we're pretty much all good to go. So good airing, it's very light. And you need to make sure that especially with your propagations, regardless of what you're doing, that you've got good light soil and well drained. All right, so I'll keep you informed. So all about elderberry propagation. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.